Yeah, I'm Joss Kent. I'm the CEO of And Beyond.
Thanks for joining us here at World Travel Market. Can you tell us why this is an important exhibition for you and your thoughts on this year?
Listen, World Travel Market is always important because you get everyone comes, here from all over the globe, regardless of whether you're a small kind of boutique luxury operator like us or a larger tourist board. So it's something you can't miss. And it's interesting. This year's probably quieter than it has been in the past, but nevertheless, you still get to see people you'll never get to see anywhere else.
And you're here this year with some exciting news and developments happening. First of all, can you tell us about some of the refurbishments that we can expect to see across some of your lodges?
Yeah, we've got 33 lodges, so there's always a need to kind of reinvest back into them. But we've now got a rolling program over 3 years where we're actually going to totally rebuild some of our camps. Right now, we have a team literally today in East Africa in Kenya, where we're going to rebuild one of our primary lodges, which is called Kichwa. So that's going to be over the next 18 months. That'll be fully rebuilt from the ground up. And we have 2 others that we're going to rebuild, one called Sandibi, which is also another famous camp in Botswana, and Ngala Safari Lodge in South Africa. So those are the 3 big ones that we're going to literally level them and start again.
And are you able to comment on the investment that's being put into that?
Yeah, I mean, over a 3-year period with everything in, we're probably going to invest over 210 million rand, which is probably about $25 million.
Great. And will the refurbishments be in line with kind of any design themes that you have at the moment?
Yes, I mean, increasingly the team that's actually on the ground in Kenya now is not just a typical design architect team. We've got a whole sustainability eco-footprint consultants on the ground as well. So we're taking the chance now, we're rebuilding from scratch to actually take all of the sustainability and efficiency stuff and build it right into the lodges. And the other thing that I think is important is we're looking at building research centres inside our lodges for our guests. So rather than just be a luxury lodge, I want it to be a place of learning. And so we're looking at how you incorporate all of our conservation community research actually into the guest experience. So I think the sustainability and the kind of learning are the 2 design ethics that we're trying to drag into the main design of our lodges.
Thank you. And well, aside from the actual refurbishments taking place, we're also seeing some expansion at the moment into Asia.
We are. I mean, it's odd that everyone seems to be pulling back in global recession, but actually we're growing quite fast now. And traditionally we've had operations in India where we've got 4 tiger lodges and a tour operation. But increasingly looking at South Asia, we were looking at Bhutan and Sri Lanka as 2 places where our kind of model, which is an integrated conservation, luxury tourism and lodging business, could actually expand into. And so we've opened up in Bhutan, in Thimphu, and we've also opened in Colombo in Sri Lanka with a view to, in the future, we're just going to tour operate now, but in the future look for luxury lodge sites and work with the governments on their conservation initiatives.
You mentioned that you've noticed some kind of changing luxury travel trends recently.
I think they've been developing over some time, but I think they've become far more acute. And strangely enough, over the last couple of years with the extent of the global recession, I think people are becoming much more definitive about what kind of experience they want, especially at our level, which is traditionally known as the kind of luxury travel end, which I think is a slight misnomer because I don't think luxury is actually what they're after anymore. I think what they're after is an experience that has luxury in terms of the traditional accommodation, the actual food and where they put their head down and the shower, and the traditional hotel services. They kind of expect that to be of a certain caliber. But what we're finding is that the actual field experience that they're looking for, especially in a safari wildlife context, is changing a lot. And it's becoming much more integrated, in terms of understanding what's happening with the local communities. Certainly what's happening with the conservation, the sustainability issues around some of the game parks and the encroachment and the poaching. All of those, they're not new themes, but where we're trying to actually make things happen differently is to, rather than just go on another game drive, is actually address that and say, right, we can show you the Big Five and that can be part of the experience, but we also want you to take you on community trips into the communities to actually understand how does your game drive actually relate to the world around it? Because if you don't understand that, you can't understand how it fits together, and we certainly can't sustain it. So a lot of the things we're doing is around the field experience and kind of twisting it to either get the parents involved in the community work, more importantly get the children involved increasingly. So we have this idea that we're building up, it's called Wild Child, and it's to take a kind of learning experience right before they travel using modern media, digital media, social media, to get children to start to learn before they come, and then teach our rangers, our guides, and the lodge management teams to work this program as they go round the different game parks. And so by the time they've gone round, they've built up blocks of education, for want of a better term, that by the time they understand, they've not just gone on a good holiday, they've actually started to really learn. And then once they get back home, they plug back into our systems, they upload all their photographs via Instagram. We have a Facebook platform for them, and they can share that learning with their teachers, their family. So I think it's kind of looking at it in a very different prism. It's through the eyes of children in terms of an experience, the eyes of adults in a different way, and probably the other way that things are changing is around the activities they're actually wanting to do. People just don't want to sit still anymore. So we've got a lot more walking, a lot more hiking, a lot more tracking, animal tracking. We've got holistic kind of wellness. We're building yoga platforms in all our lodges because we're just finding people that the baby boomer generation is far more active, and they find just sitting in a vehicle and eating three delicious meals a day is just actually not what they want. It's easier said than done to change it, but those are some of the changes. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing those. You're certainly doing something right, because you've picked up a number of awards this year, including one for your responsible tourism product. Can you comment on the significance of picking up awards or recognition such as this?
Yeah, I think the World Travel Awards are really important because they're the most important people are the guests, and when they give feedback and they actually vote for you, whether it's via the kind of Condé Nast lists or the World Travel Awards, that means more than anyone else telling us what we do. So in those awards, I think we won 12, which is something. But the ones that really meant something is not the individual lodges, but I think we won Africa's leading responsible tourism company. For the reasons I've just said, that resonates, because if we're not doing that, I'm not doing my job. And then the other is Africa's leading game reserve brand. So given that we're a fully integrated conservation, touring and lodge operator, to be recognised that whole portfolio actually means something is great.
Thank you.